Yep. And that's another keyword I want to latch onto is that the part of self that you mentioned. So that's another, I think, interesting frame of thinking. Well, we already established that the self is not one thing, right? It has all these different dimensions. But then there's also the notion of like parts and like parts work and IFS and so on becoming more popular. So just seeing the psyche as inherently multiple, and then like there's almost like that fractal scale of like it can go up but it can also go down even below what we traditionally think of the personality. So there's each of us has like little sub agents, sub narratives in us, and yeah, I think that's just another interesting piece to throw into the mix here.
And yeah, so what do we do with those things now? We have an understanding of that, right? And then maybe looking at our current state of the affairs, right? Where we're standing right now. Like, what can we learn about the world and the current times if we look through this perspective?
So here I'd like to go back to this question of the internet and how the self changes with our current media landscape, with our ways of interacting.
And it seems to me that this is related to a change in how we see ourselves and who we belong to and what we identify with.
Yes, I think that's the media landscape of like like filter bubbles basically, and of there not being a single source of truth, but rather it's all these different fragmenting worldviews. So that clearly has an impact in that. Then yeah, the kind of groups and narratives and so on that we identify with, they're diverging more strongly than they used to. Yeah, and so that's maybe creates like some polarization also on that group identity level of like us who believe the world is in this way versus these idiots who mistakenly think it's the other way.
Hey, actually, if you think long enough about these things, shouldn't we all agree and have the same long-term goals?
Yeah, and I think that's correct. And also the way in which it's conceptualized will make a difference.